guys, it's Rapunzel here. You may also know me by Kerilyn. I am here to I'm gonna do my best, but I'm gonna try to document my journey to transplant. As some of you may know, from some of my past videos, or if you're new here, hi, welcome. I was born with a congenital heart condition, tetralogy of flow. So I have like multiple, issues going on with my heart, with my pulmonary valves, and I've had many surgeries over the years. I've received a pacemaker at age 2. I've had one ever since. I'm on my 5th one right now. I have dealt with heart condition my whole life. And, over the past decade or so, my heart failure has gotten worse. I did have a pulmonary valve replacement in 2017, because I had received a new valve when I was 9 years old in 2006, I believe. Yes, 2006. I received a new pulmonary valve as well as my first pacemaker replacement. So basically at that age I was much smaller. So I outgrew it. 2017 they replaced it. That was like my first experience with heart failure, and a couple years later I went into heart failure again. 2020, stress of it was bad. There was a lot going on in my personal life as well as 2020. Ugh. So that was when I was re-diagnosed with heart failure. Was in 2020. And 5 years later, we're at this point with transplant, as a treatment option. So basically over the past 5 years or so, my heart function has continued to decline. We've done lots of medications. I'm on like at least 4 different medications for my heart failure, and lots of diuretics to help control the fluid because I build up fluid pretty quickly. Yeah. So basically this past June 2025, I was not feeling great. I was dizzy. I was, having palpitations. I was short of breath. Went into the hospital, was there over my birthday. I left the hospital with a walker to help with the long distances, to, sit down and take a rest if I need to, which has been amazing. I have been so grateful to have that. It's been very useful for me. So went to my doctor. We did some other testing and stuff like that, and she's kind of like, well, there's nothing emergent going on, but because we've had this steady decline over the past 4 years, it takes a while to get a heart transplant. So we decided to start that journey and get me on the list, all that kind of thing. And let's just say, I knew it was coming eventually, but when it's like actually time, it's like, holy crap, this is happening. And there are so many emotions and things like that that go through. Like, heart transplant isn't a cure, it's a treatment. So you're gonna have a whole lot of other issues that it's gonna come with transplant, but hopefully in the long run it will improve your quality of life. That's the goal. But it's definitely not a cure. You're not gonna just get a heart transplant and suddenly be able to do every little thing you ever wanted to do again, and just like live life like a normal person. That's not how that works. Wish it was, but it's not. But it will vastly improve your quality of life and your ability to do things. That's for sure. And so, because I'm a very complicated case, we've been anticipating I might end up in another state for my transplant. But things are seeming to go pretty well at Mayo right now, so fingers crossed that they will do me. The thing is, though, that I also have diabetes, and medications after a transplant are steroids, high doses of steroids, which, if you know anything about steroids and blood sugar, it raises your blood sugar like crazy. And when you're on extremely high doses of steroids and you're diabetic, yeah, I'm type 1 diabetic, so I use an insulin pump, and I take insulin that way as well as use a CGM. And it's difficult enough already to manage that, so that's my kitty Mickey. So basically, after transplant, it's gonna be super hard. So we were thinking I do a pancreas transplant at the same time. Now I don't know if Mayo wants to do that. We're kind of focusing on the heart right now. So not sure how that's gonna pan out. Fingers crossed they're still gonna do it, because I really don't want to be dealing with crazy blood sugars after transplant. But at the same time, we don't want to ruin the new pancreas, because those steroids, like, people develop type 2 diabetes after transplant sometimes because of the steroids. So so the pancreas transplant is, on kind of on the list, but like we're not super focused on that right now. Kind of hoping if we figure out a way around that that's not going to involve me stressing out about that. But so far, what I have done over the past 6 months, it's been about 6 months since all this started. So my doctor sent my information out to my insurance, to the transplant, like, people at my insurance, and then also to Banner, and to Banner said no right away because I'm a complicated case. So Banner said no, and then they sent me to Mayo, and I have been having appointments with Mayo. We are now going through the testing for the evaluation. That there will likely be more later, but as of now, I've had 2 full days of testing. I've got 2 more days coming up this next week. Let's just say I've never had that much blood taken in one sitting. 28 vials, and some of them had to get redone, so it's probably more than that. It's a lot of blood work. And I have more blood work coming up too, so they're getting even more blood from me this upcoming week. So lots of blood work. I've done like testing that I've done before, chest x-rays, echocardiogram, which is an ultrasound of the heart basically. They did an arterial ultrasound, so they did like an ultrasound of my veins and my arteries in my legs, which was something I've never had done before. So yeah, chest x-ray, echo, um, artery exam, the blood work. Oh, I've had like the ECG or EKG, it's the same thing, which is basically they put the little stickers on you and they take, you know, uh, like a, God, I'm blanking. But they take a reading of your heart, basically. It's like what they do at the hospital. Like, they just stick the little stickers and the wires on you, and then they take a reading. So I've done that. I've also done a pacemaker check, which was very interesting because one of my leads of my pacemaker is not quite in the right spot, and it causes stimming, which is really uncomfortable. It's basically my pacemaker, it like sends a little bit too much electricity out for things, or I don't know exactly how it works, but basically there's a little bit extra like high voltage or something. Basically, it causes jumping from my pacemaker, which is really uncomfortable. And we've messed around with the settings a few times to get that down, so that it's not as bad. I still have it. Yeah, we kind of talked about that a little bit, which, I never really knew why it was happening. I just knew it was happening. So, that was interesting. Um, so basically it means I'm not getting the full, like, use out of my pacemaker that it should be. So that is contributing to things. I've also met with a dietitian, and kind of talked about like heart healthy diet and like kind of what to expect a little bit after transplant, like high protein, like you have to like get a lot of protein in you after transplant. And I think they were saying like 82 grams of protein a day was gonna likely be my goal right after transplant, which is quite a bit. And then we did some muscle testing and stuff like that, and strength testing, which is interesting. So I definitely have like fatigue because we did like the test like a couple times. It basically was like this weird thing you held and you squeezed it, and it like measured your grip, and so like the numbers like went down when I squeezed it with my right hand, so that kind of indicated that fatigue. And then my left hand was weird. It started to go down and then it went up on my last one, so I don't know about that. I definitely have some like muscle loss, a little bit of mild muscle loss. Um, and we also talked about like getting me into the bariatric side of things to help me lose some weight because I am overweight and I have tried to lose it and I struggle with it. So, um, you know, they talked about putting me on Wegovy. I don't know if that's gonna happen or not. Type 1 diabetes and Wegovy are like GLP-1s in general. Type 1 and diabetes and GLP-1s are not always FDA approved, and they can be kind of dangerous with, spiking your blood sugar and causing ketones. So we shall see how that goes. And we kind of just, you know, talked about I struggle with an eating disorder, and also things I learned is that heart failure can cause you to feel nauseous or feel full quicker. So, like, I don't eat a lot because I don't like feeling full because it makes me feel nauseous. So I kind of learned that was a thing that can be related to heart failure. Yeah, so it's been an interesting few months, and let's talk about how I'm feeling about it, because we kind of talked about like the logistical side of everything. Um, there's a lot of information. I could go on for forever about all the logistics and everything. There's a lot going on, a lot of information. This is just kind of the, you know, condensed version. Um, Feeling wise, there's a lot of feelings. There's survivor's guilt already because deceased donor will obviously, someone will die and I will get their heart. So there's like that survivor's guilt. Absolute unrelenting terror. Let's just say that. I am absolutely terrified beyond belief. I've never been more scared of anything in my life. And I am having a lot of panic attacks. And I am just doing my best to keep myself calm. Because I've had open heart surgery before. I know how that goes. I've never had a transplant before. This is going to be crazy. There is so much stuff that comes after transplant that you have to be like on it. You got to be on your meds. You got to make sure you don't eat certain things. Like, you really have to be like, careful with infections and everything like that. It's absolutely insane. The amount of work that goes into after having a transplant. And that's scary. I had a camp counselor. I went to a camp for kids with heart disease, and I had a camp counselor who had a transplant, and wasn't consistent with her meds, and she passed away at 18. So I got a little bit of that trauma in the back of my brain. So, I'm scared of that because I'm not always super consistent on taking my meds and everything. So, and the eating, you gotta, and then like infections and stuff, like you're on immunosuppressants for the rest of your life. So, yeah. Um, so that's scary. I'm scared of the after transplant of, maintaining and staying healthy and eating right and all that stuff. Also, thoughts that you might not expect. I've obviously never had a heart transplant. This is my original heart. And, we've been through a lot together. And there's almost like a grief of losing my own heart. Like, wait a minute. Like, this is the heart I know. No. It's so hard to explain. It's just like, when you have a heart condition for your whole life, it's almost part of your, well, it is. It is part of my identity. And it's really hard to imagine losing that. And it's like almost losing part of your identity is with your heart. Also, I might not even need a pacemaker after that. So, for the first time in my life, I won't have a pacemaker, and I'm kind of terrified of that too. It's a lot of grief and fear and unknown things that I've never experienced before, and it's all jumbled into one big package. There's a lot. Like, you take the anxiety about after transplant, you take the anxiety about going through the transplant process, and getting the surgery, and then you take in that grief of losing a part of yourself, and then you add in the fear and the everything about how you're feeling before transplant, and you just it's a lot. It's a lot of emotions all at once. It's a lot to handle. There's so many layers. It feels like it's infinity layers. Like you're never gonna get to the bottom of the things. And it's extremely stressful. extremely stressful. And on top of that, you know, my body's failing, my heart's failing. So obviously that's taking a toll on me, and my ability to do things, which has been really, really hard. And there's a grieving process with that as well because, you know, I spend a lot of days in bed. As you can tell, I am in my bed right now. I am in my jammies. I have, you know, like my muscles ache, and almost like I have a flu. Um, my my legs and my muscles just ache constantly, and some days it's worse than others. And it's just like the fatigue is just, it's so hard to explain because you've got the muscle aching and then you've got the fatigue. It's like you have like a horrible case of the flu without the vomiting 24/7, and any exertion that I do, like, just, you know, like, I use my walker when I go out constantly, and, you know, I'm sitting down all the time, and, um, you know, then, like, I do, like, a big day, like, if I go to Costco with my mom or something, like, I'm definitely not coming out of bed for a few days, and I'm gonna be sleeping a whole lot. Like, I am sleeping so much, and like during the day, and I feel like I'm missing out on things because if I'm not sleeping, I'm in my bed resting because like I just don't have the energy to do things. There are days I don't have the energy to get up and make food for myself. So not eating, coupled with my own eating disorder and the anxiety about eating, is just a whole other thing, and that's a challenge. Also, going out and doing things, like, you know, I had a couple appointments this past week, and, you know, getting up, walking around, doing a lot of that, it feels like I've run a mile and like I am sore. I am physically sore, like I did a really good workout or overdid it on a workout. My legs are like painful when I move them because I don't know, it's just so much work on my body to do things. And so I'm sore, I'm tired, I sleep a lot, I am achy, brain fog. Brain fog is horrible. I cannot focus on shit. I can't focus on anything. Like, it's so hard for me to form thoughts. You might have been able to notice a little bit of that as I've been talking. You know, it's just it's it's really difficult, and um there's so much that is going on in my brain right now, and I have no energy to deal with any of it. It took me 2 weeks to put up my Christmas tree, like, fully. Um and my tree isn't that big. And now I have to take it down. It's like I just got it up and now I have to take it down, and I'm like, how am I gonna manage that? Like, uh, because everything aches and everything's tight. Like, it's just, I don't even know how to explain it. It's the only way I can describe it is literally what it is, which is I feel like I'm dying. And I am dying. And that's a weird thought at 28 years old, that you're dying. I'm actively dying. Like, slowly and painfully. My dad died of heart failure, but that was also from Alzheimer's because they couldn't treat him because of his Alzheimer's. Um, but, you know, obviously that's where I got it at my dad. Um, And yeah, no, when you're actively dying and you're trying to do things, and there's so much I need to do for this transplant that, you know, I have to think of logistics. Like, I'm gonna need to be living with my mom for 3 months after transplant, and it's like, what am I gonna do with my apartment, or what am I gonna do now when I'm having days where I can't physically get out of bed to feed myself? Like, how's that gonna work? Like, what do we do about that? And I have a housing voucher, so it's like I can't just like move out, move in with my mom until like I'm ready to go back. Like, I will lose my housing voucher. So, and I can't afford an apartment without a voucher. So, it's, I don't know, it's so much. It's so much. And there are things that I used to be able to do that I can't do anymore. Um, and these are some things that you might not realize are affected by heart failure that I am excited to do after transplant. Number one, singing. I love to sing. I like to write music. I like to go on like karaoke apps and sing songs and record myself. Like, it's a passion for me. And you know, when you can't breathe properly, it makes it really difficult to sing. So I'll try to sing a song and I can't get through it because I don't have the breath. And that's really, really hard because I love singing so much, and it's a coping skill for me. It like, I don't know, there's a thing with singing in your vagus nerve that like it activates that or something, and so actually it's really good for you to help calm you down. Um, which I do, and when it's hard to sing, and it's just a simple thing. Like, I want to sing a song, but I can't because of my heart failure. Like, there are days when I'm feeling a little bit better that I can like sing through a song if I am like really focused on making sure I'm breathing enough. And certain songs obviously are easier because they have longer pauses where you can get a breath in. So, like, there are some days that I'm able to do that, but they're getting fewer and fewer in between. And that just really, really makes me sad. It really makes me sad. And then obviously the physical things like cleaning my apartment. I'd love to be able to clean my apartment and put up a tree and build a piece of furniture for my apartment or whatever, like decorate things and just all those types of things that like are so simple, but I can't do them because I don't have enough energy. Taking a shower and not feeling absolutely drained after. um Yeah, showering is hard. I get exhausted very quickly. I have a shower chair. I use it constantly. Because I have to sit down. And washing my hair is difficult because, gotta use these muscles and stuff like that. And, going for a walk would be nice. Walking down to the Dollar General. I used to walk down there. It was not an easy walk for me. Like, if I don't know, last year, like I think I was able to do it like in the summerish time of this past year. I was able to kind of walk there once in a while to the Dollar General, and back. It wasn't easy. It was exhausting, but I could at least do it. I actually did walk there and back recently, and oh my god, it was like I didn't think I was gonna make it back. I was so exhausted. I brought my walker and I was still absolutely, like, I had to take so many breaks, and it's not a very long walk. It's literally just, I gotta walk across my apartment, like, front parking lot, and then past the canal, and then it's right there. And it's like literally a 3-minute walk, and I couldn't even do that. And yeah, so walking to the store so I can get stuff, walking to Taco Bell so I can get something. I can't drink caffeine anymore because it causes my heart to race. That one's a new one. That one developed within the last month or so. Running around after my nephew, holding him, just can't keep up with him. I want to babysit him more, but right now it's so hard, I can't do it. And then obviously other physical things, like I really want to go to Sedona and walk to the vortexes. I've never been able to do that. I want to travel, like just in general. Go on trips, do things, experience things. Getting a job. I'd love to get a job and have that extra money so I can save up to do those fun things like traveling. I want to start my own business with my art. I'm an artist, and I really want to be able to be consistent with that, and I haven't been able to because I'm so exhausted. I haven't been able to paint in months because I'm too tired. Yeah, that's hard. That's a hard one because that's another passion of mine. I'm just creatively, I'm very passionate with creative things, writing, art. Like I dabble in a little bit of everything, like cross stitch. I love cross stitch. Painting, drawing, diamond paintings, puzzles, writing music. Just I'm a very creative person in general, and I feel like that's been stamped down on because I don't have the energy to do those things. D&D, I used to play D&D. We ended our campaign several months ago, and that was really hard because it was a 2-year campaign. I tried to get in with another group. I didn't like the group, but so I ended up leaving the group. But at the same time as I was doing that, I realized that I would not be able to sit for hours on end and play D&D, which is sad. So yeah, it's just, there's a lot of things that I miss doing, that I'm hoping I can do after transplant. And people ask me, what's the first thing you're gonna do after transplant? And I'm like, well, I'm gonna sing, because that's not a physical thing that, because obviously I have to recover from the transplant first, and it's a long recovery, obviously. And I'm not going to be able to go out and do all those crazy things right away. So my first thing is going to be singing, because I'll be able to breathe. So yeah, I know I've kind of just been rambling, and I've been thinking about doing a little vlog about this journey and stuff for a while, and I kept not wanting to record a video because it's, I'm I didn't know exactly what to say, or I was just really tired, or I didn't have makeup on, and I'm just today, I'm just you know what, we're just gonna do it. I'm just gonna ramble, I'm just gonna talk, and talk your ear off, and I'm not gonna edit this or anything, it's just gonna go straight on, so you guys are seeing it. And yeah, I'm just I don't care. I'm just gonna post it. this is just reality, and I wanted to share this with people because when I was researching a lot of like transplant stuff at the beginning, I didn't see any videos about people like before transplant, and I wanted to share this journey with you guys, as well as possibly in the future if the donor family wants to watch these, that they can see my journey and see the gift that their family member, has given me, and kind of seen what my life is before transplant and like the journey I've been on. And I think about the donor family a lot and the donor. There's just no way to. There's a lot of feelings with that, a lot of grief, survivor's guilt, but also like just a deep, deep, deep gratitude that I already have for whoever's heart I get, and their family. And I myself am an organ donor, so I kind of understand, like, I don't know how many organs they're gonna take from me. I kind of have a few of them that are screwed up, but just knowing that there's gonna be somebody's gonna lose somebody, and I'm gonna be connected to that loss. I really want to do right by the donor and the donor family, and live my life to the fullest. I don't want to waste a gift, if that makes sense. Yeah, so I have a lot of sympathy and love going out to donor family in the future, and that kind of thing. So I am gonna just kind of end this here, and I have no clue when I'm gonna be able to update again. This is just kind of a spur of a moment thing, and I have a little bit of energy to lay here in bed and talk. So when I'm able to update, I will update, but as of now, that's kind of what's going on. And this is life pre-transplant, beginning stages of getting the evaluation done. I'm not even on the list yet, so thanks for watching. If you've made it all the way to the end, thanks for watching my ramble. And I will see you guys when I'm able to.